Hello, lovely Sue. Phil, Mr. Shaw,
Hello,
how
Laurie.
are
Mr. Saville, I'm very well, and you?
you? I'm wonderful, thank you.
See, you're in the British Library again.
I know. And this is just the porn section.
The porn section, yeah. You'd be in there all night, won't you?
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Don't want to go down that road too
No,
much.
we'll stop right there.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll go and get my cat.
Yeah.
We had the meditation on Monday night and Charlie decided to co-host with me.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, wasn't funny at the end. He stole me pen, and when I took it off him, he scratched hell out of my hand, a little monster. I was like...
An extraordinary looking cat.
No, this is Charlie, the other one.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
Well, we're nearly at time. I'm just going to start muting a few people. Don't take any offence, anybody. Oh, hello, I'm coming in thick and fast now. Right. It is 7 o'clock. Well, a very good evening, everybody. How nice to see so many people here for a wonderful night with our Spiritualism Lyceum theme nights. Great pleasure and delight to welcome Jack to our presentation tonight, who will be taking this for us. Jack is a truly wonderful person. He runs the Danish Spiritualist Association. He's a healer, a medium, tutor and lecturer. So Jack, thank you so much for giving us your time this evening.
Thank you, Lawrence. It's all my pleasure, and good evening, everybody. It's such a tremendous pleasure to me to have this time to share some of my knowledge with you.
Absolutely wonderful. Tonight, Jack will be talking about, amongst other things, your own energy, the recipient, spirit, natural communication, and giving us some techniques to expand upon our communication. So we're really looking forward to that tonight, Jack. One of the good things about this time is that we have all these opportunities now just to increase our understanding, gain more evidence, gain more comprehension, learning and abilities in what we do in our spiritual fields, wherever that may lay. So yeah, even in these grim times, there are these bright nuggets of hope, which we're truly grateful for. So without further ado, sir, if I can hand over to you, please.
Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, shortly I will just make a short introduction of myself for a start here. For my own good sake, as Lawrence mentioned, my name is Jack Eckhart. And I've been working with conscious with spirit for about 25 years, and I've been teaching for about 15 years. I've studying the mechanics within the mediumship. That has been quite important to me, for me to understand the background of the work I'm doing. And the mechanisms that's behind it. And it's some of those things I would like to share with you this evening. And also for a start, I want to say, when I'm teaching, I'm not just teaching what I have been told from other tutors, because of course I've had many tutors during the years. But I'm teaching out of my own experiences, not from something I've read in a book and things like that. So by that said, some of the basic things when I'm teaching is the understanding of our own energy. Lawrence mentioned some of the things I would go through about our own energy, the recipient, about spirit. I have something I call the communication triangle, and I will introduce you to that and explain a bit of things about the mechanics out from that as well. I will talk a little bit about the natural communication as well, because sometimes my experience has been that we can complicate the communication with spirit so much. But basically, it's as simple as we talk to each other. And to me, it's like, I know a lot of people is working with, they have to sit and meditate for half an hour to talk to spirit and things like that. To me, it's like, I'm not sitting down to meditate half an hour to speak to Lawrence, for example. You know, I just do it. And the same way with spirit, of course, I will put my mindset in the right place, but it don't have to take half an hour or more listen to a certain a piece of music or anything like that, because it is a natural act in my understanding. I will talk to you a little bit about some of the techniques that I'm using that I have realized that has expanded my mediumship as well. And we'll talk a little bit about how we elevate information into evidence, and we'll talk a little bit about what is evidence actually. So, but basically, to communicate with spirit, first of all, we have to be aware of our own energy, and I see a lot of people is having teaching, and the first thing they start to teach about is how they read another person. I don't know if you can relate to that, but to me, why start to learn to read another person? Why not start to understand yourself and your own energy first of all? As when you understand your own energy, then you can realize the difference when you have another person's within your energy, and even have spirit within your energy. And I will share a little thing with you, so I'll just share screen. So I don't know, Lawrence, if you just for a moment maybe can put spotlight on me so everybody can see, because I will explain a little bit about this communication triangle that I was talking about. And it's like that, and triangle explained by circles, funny enough. But when we have a spirit communication, we have three parts in it. We have the medium, of course, we have a recipient, and we have spirit. And the three is equal important. But if we start with the medium, when we're working, as a medium, we are the one in the middle. And that, as simple as that, be aware of our own energy. Then we, of course, have the recipient. And when we have the recipient, we are interacting with our recipient. We are talking to our recipient, and they are talking back to us. Simple as that, as a normal communication when we talk with each other. Then, of course, we have spirits, and when we have some loved one come through, as a medium, we should talk to spirit, to the loved one, have that information from the loved one, and bring it on to the recipient. That's the basic in it. That's the basic in it. I've realized a lot of people don't really separate the psychic from the mediumship. To me, that's quite important, and I will explain a little bit about it as well. When we work as a medium, when we are on the psychic link, we will link in with the energy of our recipient, and through that energy, we can read our recipients' memories of their loved ones. So we can describe their loved ones, we can describe memories of their loved ones, without even have any interaction with spirits. And in my opinion, that's really important to understand that, because often I have seen people do a psychic reading describing loved ones, but have no contact with spirits. Then what we should do is actually talk to spirit and bring what we get from spirit to the recipient. And within that space, we can actually make a room, a spiritual room, where the recipient can have a direct contact with spirit, with their loved one as well. That's what I call the presence of spirit, when we can bring that presence of spirit of the loved one forward to our recipient. Okay, I'll just take this away again. We'll come back to this. And again, the natural communication, but just for now, I'll just try to do a little example. I'll do a little example if that's okay with you. So let me see here. Let me see here. I'm just looking on the screen here, and let's see.
Could have been anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No spirit there at all.
No in-depth information. It was just surface.
Exactly. And now it's just a short example. I could have gone on but no, I just made some notes before I started here. Things, oh, I can't bring these things in, but I can put it in a way so it seems like, wow, he's getting a lot of information, but actually getting nothing. But we can leave people with a feel good and make them believe that we have somebody there without even have any connection with spirit. We can, as I said before, we can make a psychic reading as well. So that's just a short example, and that's what I see often have happened when mediums going direct that way, because they're not building the relation with spirit before they interact with the recipient. I'll just bring this communication triangle back here. So what happens is when the medium is interacting with the recipient before they create the connection with spirits, we'll easily have this kind of cold reading in the best part of it can be psychic reading with no connection with spirit. A lot of mediums actually fall in that and don't realize it. And I think that sometimes it's a shame, both for the medium, but for recipient and spirit as well. Okay. Let me see. I'll try to do it a little bit different here. So let's see here. Okay. Okay, I am aware of a lady here. I know when I'm working with this lady here, I know this lady, when she passed, she have been a quite good age. I feel with her, she have been 75 plus when she passed. I do have a feeling with her here that when she passed, that she I feel with her in the back end of her life, she would have some problems with her breathing. She would have something around her throat, and I believe that the sickness in the end of her life have caused a period of time in hospital, and I do feel with this lady here, I want to talk a family link here, and I want to talk about a family link here. I'm not quite, at the moment, I'm not quite sure what side of the family, but I will get back to that. But with this lady, I feel she's coming here I feel like she's coming to talk to her daughter here. And if I can just come to Donna. Donna, can you put your Donna?
I was going to put my hand up.
would just understand this lady.
All of
Donna.
it. All of it.
One more time. All of it.
All
Fantastic.
of it. Yeah, I was going to put my hand up.
Yeah, but no, but I'm just making a connection with what I believe is your mom. Would that be right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and I know with your mom here, can you see the difference? I'm building the relation with spirit, and I spirit where I'm going. I'm not looking at the screen and see who I'm attracted to. So Donna, you would understand with your mother as well that during her life she has been quite hard-working woman as I feel her. Because I feel when I feel her body, I feel that I've used my body during my life, and my body is worn out at the end of my life. And this lack of breathing, I feel like it almost like my lung. I feel like my lungs is very limited. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not sure if one lung has been collapsed or something, but it feels like I really have to do effort to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just make it short here because it's just an example. But
Yeah.
just know your mom is around, and she is here for you. And okay. But you know, I know with your mom, she must have had a sense of humor as well, because and she is a lady that, wow, now I'm here, you're not gonna stop me now. You understand that?
Exactly.
Because she's just blabbering on and on and on and on. But that's because that's the person she was when she was here on Earth plane. And trust me, she's still like that.
Never stops talking. Yeah.
She's talking to you here and say, okay. You understand you are mom's girl as well.
Pardon?
You would understand you are mom's girl. A lot of girls is like a father's girl, but she says she is my girl.
Oh, well, they used to fight over that.
Okay, that's fine. But again, just an expression that just making me aware of that. Oh, she's my girl, and she is talking to me about that. Okay, you understand as well. She's talking to you about taking a little bit care of yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Nothing serious bad things going to happen. It's just a motherly concern around you, and she's smiling and okay. And she's smiling here and say, "Oh, I know she have been aware of her diet as well lately. Would you understand that?"
Yeah.
Everybody has, but your mom is just making me aware of that. But just know your mom is around and she loves you. Okay, yeah, I'll just leave her here. I have to stop her now because she will go on and on and on. So just take your mom's love and that support from her. So thank you for letting me work with your mom here.
Thanks very much, Jack. It's lovely. Thank you.
So again, just a short example. But could you see the difference both in the sort of information, the energy within it, and because I built that relation with spirit before I find my recipient. I could have put it out and say, who would understand that? But I asked this mom, hey, who do you want to talk to? I want to talk to my daughter. But who is your daughter? Point at your daughter. And she brought me to Donna. So that's simple communication. How did I get to that? Oh, I have a lady here. Oh, who are you? Oh, I'm a mom. But who are your mom for? You know? And she's talking about, oh, and then end of my life, I was a little bit poorly, and said, whoa, what was wrong with you? And she brought my attention to her lungs and things, talking to, so what about the lungs? Oh, that brought me to the hospital. So I just used that natural communication. I'll let mom lead the communication, but every statement she gave me, I just put another question to it. So there is several different things to look at there with that communication triangle. I'll just share this again. There is different techniques to expand on different evidence. Now I'm just shortly talking about this this natural communication and what we should be aware of. One of the strong things within the mediumship is when we can create that room where our recipient and their loved ones is being connected, so that the recipient not only have our words, but actually have the energy, can feel their loved ones coming close to them as well. It's easier to do it when we have people physically in front of us, but trust me, we can do it online as well. I usually say spirit is always online. Isn't it fantastic? Good. Yes. If you have if there's any questions coming up, there will be time for answering questions as well. But think about this natural communication. I'll do an example. I'll just let me see. Sue Townsend, could you put your voice on?
Hello, Jack.
Hi, Sue. Sue, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Oh, that's taken me by surprise. There's not a lot to say. What do you want to know?
Just a little bit about yourself. Maybe about your family, your work, or whatever comes up.
Okay, I'm interested in all sorts of spiritual things, including mediumship, and I'm interested in druidry. I've got a lot of people in that sort of field of interest in the spiritual world. I have a daughter and a son. My son's got two young girls, he and his partner. Is that enough for you, Jack, or do you need?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Sue. So when you're working as a medium, what kind of medium are you working as?
I'm not working out in the field as such at the moment. It's more quietly on Zoom and this type of thing for personal reasons.
Yeah, yeah. What's your goal within your spiritual stuff?
To be of service to spirits. They will lead me where I need to be, and that's already started by different groups that I'm running.
Yeah, fantastic. You're talking about your daughter and son. What is their names?
I'm sorry, I'm very reticent about giving information.
No,
So
that's okay. It's okay.
Christina is my daughter, and Lou is my son.
Okay, how old are they? Or can I just put another question?
Okay,
you're talking about your son. Your
your
son have two kids. How old are the kids?
The two girls, one is 8 and the other one's 3, and my children are around the age of 40.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sue. That was all I needed.
Thank you.
Just an example how natural. I just listen to what Sue says, and I ask questions to what she has told me. So out from that, I got a little bit more about her work. I got names on her kids. I got the age on her kids and grandkids. I could probably have got birthdays and everything just by natural asking into information Sue already gave me. Does that make sense to you? The same way when I'm working with spirit. And sometimes we see a lot of those what I call one-word statements as well. For example, as the first example I gave, where I gave out some names, and our lady understood, Mary and Jane. So a couple of names, Mary and Jane, is that evidence? In my opinion, it's information with a very little value, actually. And often we see a lot of names be thrown out, and it's up to the recipient and place where those names belong. I believe that if we're getting names, we should do, not always we get it, but we should do an effort to get where does those names belong. So instead of just saying you understand the name of Mary and you understand the name of Jane, but who belong those names to? Why are they bringing those names? If the names belongs to somebody that the loved one never have met, why should they mention their names then? Then it should be because that the names was significant to the recipient for a certain reason. I know when my daughter is coming through from spirit, through medium, she would never give me random names that she on people she never met. We have to remember when we are working with spirit, it's an intelligent world, and if they're bringing their name, they're bringing a name for a reason. Yeah, so I believe that if we can say, hey, I got the name Mary here, and Mary is mother's name, or Mary is the name of mother's sister, or Mary is a name closely connected around you as a recipient. Just do an effort just to try to place the name. Does that make sense? In that way, we'll put change and information into evidence. The same, I used a couple of months in the first example as well. We see often a lot of months be thrown out with like, oh, it should be significant, not why it should be significant or anything. Sometimes I've heard 4, 5, 6 months be thrown out in a message. And hey, most of us can take something in any month. I have a big family. I can take any month. I can probably find a birthday or an anniversary of any kind in every month a year. So when a medium just throws months out to me, I'm like, yeah, and it's, even though I can place it, it's not really evidence to me. But the medium says, oh, you know, I know the month of July is significant for you, and I want to come in the back end of July because that's your loved one talking about, that's your birthday. Wow, then it becomes evidence to me, because then they bring information that is significant to me. And the same with relations. Sometimes it can be quite vague who is the communicator, and often it's I see that it's the recipient that actually had to address who is the communicator. But to me, it should be like, it should be us as a medium that is at least doing an effort to put a tile, some kind of tile on that communicator where they belong to the recipient. There is different techniques to these things, and I would like to share a couple of them with you as well. First of all, before I do that, I will talk a little bit about the senses. You're probably all aware of, we have our spiritual senses as well as our physical senses. We have our clairvoyance, we have our clairaudience, and clairsentience. That means we can see, we can hear, we can feel spiritual energy. We have clairaudience, that is smelling the energy, and clairgustance, to taste the energy. That's the senses we have, physical as well as we have some spiritual. So when spirit comes, we can read their energy, explore the energy through all our senses. And that means when somebody's coming, talking to us, and they're giving us information, and say, well, I would like to have this in a slightly different way. So I will look at the same thing, but I will look at it. I will use another sense to see it in a different way. Let me just for example, I have mother here. I know I have a feeling where mother lived. She lived in a little village area, and I know within this village there is a church, because I can hear the church bells. But when I turn around from where that sound come from, I look up and I can see the church there as well. I can walk towards the church, and when I walk, I know here when I walk out of Mom's garden out to the road, I turn left and up the road, and to the right up there is the church, but I can see the tower of the church from back home. When I get into the church, I can smell this. I can smell the church. I can smell it's an old church, and I can in the smell I can what's it called? I can smell it. It's a church that's not used that much, but I know within this church that has been a service or something recently, because I can see some of the older wine is still there, so I can taste that wine as well. So I can explore that little bit of information through all my senses. For example, when I had Donna's mom, I was talking about the hospital. I could have gone with mom to the hospital and been looking around there, and I could have been looking out of the window, and Donna, can I just ask you, would it make sense if your mom when she passed, that would have been in the springtime of year?
No, it wasn't spring.
No, it wasn't spring. That's okay. It was just becoming aware because I was just looking out of the window. I just saw these springtime green new leaves on the trees and bushes. So don't worry about it. Don't. It was just, but it's just using our sense to look around, to listen to the energy, to smell the energy. It can be a grandmother that loves to bake. We can taste her cake and things. We can have so much information if we are changing around with our senses as well. Other techniques we can use is like if we have, if you're looking for a relation. I talked about sometimes I meet a lot of students that struggles with getting the relation. First of all, I used to say, just have a feeling, have a sense, feel the emotions that spirit is coming with. Does it feel close? Does it feel like a family, or does it feel more distance? If it's family, a good way I've seen work with a lot of students is, you all know a family tree, don't you? And it's like either for your inner eye, or put it on the wall, or just in front of you. Just put that family tree up in front of you. put your recipient in the bottom of it and see, well, where does that go, this relation go, and it goes really fast. Just try it, practice it, but can go really fast. Okay, I now have my recipient here. Oh, here I have mom, and it goes out to the side here, so I know it's mom's sister. Oh, it's grandma because it's going up. Maybe it's on father's side. You don't have to think of all the rules of the right family tree. You just make your own. But it's an easy way just to put it up in front of you and just look at that tree. And trust me, it does work if you just try it out and do it a couple of times. I know from my own students, a lot of them are using it with great success. And another one is I use when I'm looking for months, I'm looking for anniversaries, diaries, anniversaries, birthdays, and things like that. It's like I'm using a calendar. One of my favorites is when grandmothers comes through. I know a lot of grandmothers have knows everything about everybody in the family, don't they? And they know all about the birthdays and anniversaries and things. So just ask grandma, hey, can I see your calendar? And just put her calendar in my hand and just going through the calendar, say, well, here, oh, I can see here I'm in August. I can see there is a flag or a balloon or whatever. And see, well, and so I know in August, in the back end of August, that there is something there, and I can see it's a birthday. There's a little flag, so it's a birthday. There is there, and it's a boy because I can see the name Peter is written there. So just go through it. And one thing is to go deeper and deeper that way. But another technique to get more, be more comfortable to get the right information is just to start off. Would you understand there would be for example, a birthday in August, when you have a yes on that? Okay, and when I look at the diary, I know I'm in the back end of August. Would that make sense? Oh yes, you build it up with your yeses. So I can see it's just around the 25th of August. Yes. And I can see here it's a birthday, and I can see the name Peter there, and you get a no. Okay, excuse me for read that wrong, but you understand the birthday. So you have a yes to go back to. Does that make sense? So when you are practicing going for those, expanding your mediumship that way, and getting more and more depth in your evidence, make sure you start with the small yeses and build these yeses bigger and bigger. And if you get to the point where you're getting a no, have a yes, you have the yes, just go back to the last positive yes. Okay. It's a simple technique to build up your confidence within your mediumship, because you're building it on yeses. Okay. Another one that I really like to do is use one like a remote viewing as well, as I just made an example of before, where explaining the road to the church. Remote viewing, what we have to be aware with remote viewing is that we can do remote viewing 2 different ways. I'll just share here again this triangle. When we as a medium are doing remote viewing, we can do it 2 ways. If we are working with spirit, we should only do it 1 way, is trying to look through spirits, try to look through the loved one's eyes. Ask the loved one, show me your home. Let me walk around in your home. Let me just see where you live. Show me things of significance for you. That can be a furniture, it can be a plate on the wall, it can be anything, something they have in a cupboard or whatever. And they can show you these things. They can even show you around in the neighborhoods or other places of importance to them. They can show you. Another way we can do remote viewing is going in through the recipient's energy. We shouldn't do that when we're working mediumistic. I'm just explaining for the understanding of the difference. We can go in through the recipient's energy and use remote viewing there to see it through the recipient's memory. So again, it's different, because then we just talking about recipient's memory instead of talking about the information from spirit. Again, it's so important to build that relation with spirit, especially before we go to recipient. Just my opinion, you don't have to agree, but trust me, it works.
Brilliant, Jack.
So if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer some questions as well.
I love that. You did say that to me in a conversation about a week ago about going to spirit first, and to see it demonstrated tonight. I'm working a week on Sunday on the platform here, so that is a definite must to try. So if I run off crying halfway through the service, it's all Jack's fault.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just blame it on me. That's no problem. I can.
No, I really get it. It does. It feels very, very good. You've got a couple of questions coming on the Facebook viewers.
Yeah.
Linda Darnell Fly from Florida. How long do you let a spirit talk, communicate with you, and how do you cut the conversation?
Oh, how long do I let? Yeah, that depends. If I'm on the platform, I will. It will be unlimited time, because simply because it's on platform. So it will be limited to these 7-8 minutes approximately, because that's the time we have when we're on the platform. If it's in a private setting, we of course have more time. Then I typically say, okay, a setting will be about 30 minutes or 45 minutes, or whatever we agree to. So I will let spirit talks. Sometimes we can have some that's typically in a private setting that will have finished bringing the evidence and said what they want to say within 10 or 15 minutes. So what to do then? But just allow another one come in. So it's basically I'm letting them speak as long as we have set the time to.
Yeah,
Depends on the circumstances. How I shut them off? Basically, I just telling them, hey, time is up. We are done with the evidence now. Just we need the message from you.
yeah. I have seen some platform mediums just fly through messages. Others take quite a long time. My own personal feel is when you take a very, very long time for a message in a demonstration of mediumship, it's almost counterproductive, because although that link with you and spirit and the recipient is strong, you've got a room full of people just sort of sitting there going and fidgeting.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Sue's got a hand up there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack, I'd just like to ask, everybody does this different. How do you discern whether you can, whether you are able to give somebody some information that's one of those tricky things to talk about that's coming through? How do you discern whether to give them some information or whether you have to word it in the way that it's very cryptic? How do you I don't know how to say this. It's like if you're touching on subjects where somebody can be very vulnerable about it.
Yep. I used to say to my student, listen to your own words as you speak. Be aware of how you phrase things. I have a very good example a couple of times, but from the platform, I had a father that wanted to talk to his daughter in the congregation. I was bringing the evidence for the father. She accepted the father, and it came to a time where I realized that the father has abused her as a child. It was important to get it through, but I couldn't stand there on the platform and say, hey, your father is telling me here that he abused you as a child. So I worded it different. I said, and you must understand that your father is talking about he wasn't the father that he should have been. And she said, I understand that. Okay, we'll leave it there. In a respect for the recipient, because nobody wants to sit there and everybody's been told, oh, this so and so has been going on in your life. It's, of course, it's different when you have a one-to-one setting. You can start with a softer way to phrase it, and just be aware of your recipient, and just really be sensitive about how far you can go all the time. It's really a balance when you're getting into things like that. My experience is sometimes one of the things we can have is people that have committed suicide. My experience is often when they come from spirit, have committed suicide, they will let me know, but often it's not that I should shout out over the congregation, I have your father here and he took his own life because he hung himself. You know, we don't need that dramatic things. I can phrase like, you know, your dad ended his life by his own choice. It's just sort of a way to say the same thing. I don't need to go into all the details. Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that was a little bit of answer to your question.
No, it's very good. I've had similar situation on platforms too, and the way I understood this young guy had taken drugs, and because of the drug taking, that's how his life ended. And I'm like, right, how do I put this over? And I said, oh, a young man here with a very addictive personality. And the mum went, yep. And it is, you've just got to put it in that way that they understand, and everybody else just sits there a bit oblivious to it. Another question come through on the Facebook page from Steve Bridger at Being Spirit. And he's asking, before you begin, do you connect with your primary guide for them to act as a spirit side manager of the proceedings?
Can I have that one more time? I didn't understand that.
Okay, he's asking, before you work mediumistically, do you connect in with your guides or your doorkeeper, whatever your terminology is, to start those proceedings? Do you have time with them before you work?
No, not at all. I just know, I know my guides, helpers are around, be there at any time. But no, I just, as I said in my introduction, I'm not, the preparation I'm doing before I work with spirit is just calm myself, just take a couple of deep breaths, and just sending out that thought that somebody that's belong to my, if it's a one-to-one setting, someone close connected to my recipient, or somebody connected to somebody in the congregation. And I don't believe that I need a doorkeeper as such. I learned about that doorkeeper years ago, but I have to be honest, I've never really used it. And to me, to have this doorkeeper is like somebody watching the door to prevent bad people coming in, or bad spirits. And through all my years working with spirit, I have never experienced anything that I need to protection from spirits. And some people says, "Oh, what? Yeah, there is bad spirits, there is evil spirits and things." I said, maybe so, but I'm not giving them any attention. It's like the Indians with the two walls. Which one is getting biggest? The one you feed.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Interesting. Karen, my darling, very patiently waiting there. Thank you.
Hi, Jack. I think
Hi.
you sort of answered my question, but most of the mediums, or when they teach, they say you should open up and have a ball of energy, and then you should get onto another vibration. And yet another medium that I've seen work does nothing like that and just goes straight in and talks to them. And I'm just wondering, do you have to get onto the vibration level, or is it as simple as just...
To me, it is as simple as just having the thought about having the intention. I've often been asked, "Oh, how are you preparing?" And I said, "Well, I don't really have. Of course, I have some preparation, but it's not like I have some ceremonies, as I call it, that to go through, to sit and meditate, to connect with things. But if I have a them in the evening, when I wake up in the morning, my preparation starts, because I have I just have the thought, oh, I'm on tonight, so okay, that's fine. I just put my mind to it, and then I just go on with my day. When we're getting closer, I'll probably have a shower, will change my clothes and things, and that's basically my preparation, because I just having my mind to, oh, I'm going on the platform tonight.
Yeah.
Or having a sitting later or something like that, just having a thought. So if I'm on the platform, if it's a new place, I would like to just, before the congregation comes, I would like to just go to the platform and just walk up and down the platform a couple of times, just to put my energy there. But I don't need to. I've tried to arrive 2 minutes before because of traffic and things, just 2 minutes before, just to rush in to a platform and just start. So both things works for me. So
Okay, thank you.
I think we have to be careful not to create these things where, oh, I need to do this, I need to create this bubble, I need to sit for half an hour, I need to listen to that piece of music. If I haven't done that, I can't work.
Yeah.
Because
Understand.
it is, in my opinion, a natural communication.
Okay, thank you.
So.
That is a really, really good question. I love that question, because we pick up these habits in our first stages of development, and we tend to hold on to them. I remember when I first started going out to open platforms, after a while, I discovered I had a lucky pair of socks.
Yeah.
That's true. If I wore these socks, my mediumship would work.
Yeah.
It's just, but we do, and we create, and I mean, this time is a big teacher, isn't it? You take it about us doing these things online. Well, 2 years ago, you would have said, "You can do this online." You go, "No, well, that won't work," because we've put that barrier up.
Yeah.
And it's the same in our formative years of mediumistic development. We have all these little rituals and practices, and I know every single working medium out there will be smiling, because at some stage, Mr. Shaw, did you have a little ritual or a practice just before you started to work?
Just let me unmute. I used to, Lawrence, when I first sort of finished formal development, I had a little ritual of listening to favorite pieces of music to relax, physically and mentally relax. And then I found after time that it wasn't particularly necessary for me to keep on doing that. So that sort of, it rather developed rather like Jack works, in that I just now link in without any sort of formal preparation or ceremony, apart from obviously stilling my mind and just focusing on my personal internal energy and my connection with spirit. And I just wanted to say really to Jack that I think we work very similarly, in that I was taught in development or we were taught in development by our teacher to have full conviction of our connection with spirit. And that in having that connection, it wasn't necessary or isn't necessary to ask as many questions of the recipient as a lot of mediums do. You know, i.e., I mean, was your mother a very tall lady that had very, very long hair? Oh, yes, she was. Oh, I thought she was because I'm seeing a picture of her and that's exactly how she looks. Well, I mean, if you're seeing that image of the mother, you don't need to ask the recipient, was she slim and did she have long hair and did she wear, you know, heavy makeup? It isn't necessary because you've already either been told that by the communicator or they've imprinted that image physically of themselves. So it's really having that confidence to trust in spirit and convey through that trust the facts that you're being given.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Another thing about this question is when we have the skeptics will certainly sit there and say, hey, you're just asking the questions, and that's just to feed the skeptics. Trust me, I've been one of the skeptics back in the days. So yeah, that's really relevant. Don't ask questions and make positive statements.
Yes, thank you.
Another question just come in there. Have you got any advice or tips about building trust?
Yeah, it's I would say spend some time in company with spirit one way or another. It can be through healing, it can be sitting in the power, as we call it, just sitting in your own energy, asking, it can be your own loved ones, ask them to come and sit with you, your guides help us, and just building a comfort to be in that company of spirits. And again, to building the comfort within your mediumship is basically don't analyze the information share. You have to the information you're getting, find a good, really good circle or like-minded people to create your own circle, and just practice, and just try to give out what you have. Don't think about, oh, can this really be right, and I don't dare to see this. Just try to say it, but make sure you have a safe environment with positive like-minded people around you, and then you can just practice. And when you just try to say things, you have the yeses, you will have the no's, and through that you will have separate what's coming from your head, what was coming from your imagination, and what was coming from spirit. That's the best way for me to separate. And when you're start getting these yeses, you'll start to grow that confidence and that comfort within your the mediumship.
Very good. Yeah, very good. See if there's any more questions coming in. Somebody's asking here, what if you get two spirits together talking at the same time? How do you separate those energies?
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good question. I would say that depends, but first of all, I will check, does these two spirits belong to each other? Are they coming together because it's mom and dad, or sisters, or brothers, or whatever? That's the first thing I will check with them. Then I will separate them physically. A good way to do it is like, say to one of them, okay, now you stand over here, and turn around, actually physical, say you stand here, and the other one, you stand here. So now I'm talking to you. Yeah. So I'm talking to one of them and say, okay, now you just hold there and turn around. Now I'm talking to you, and I do actually for an exercise, just do this physical movement, place them physical that way. That's a really good way to separate them, to get those two energies away from each other.
Very good.
It's simple, but it works.
Very good.
Yeah, keep it simple.
That is a lovely phrase, keep it simple. Because
we are so good at complicate things, and as I said, we're really good at complicate the mediumship, and we have to remember it's called mental mediumship for a reason.
Yes.
You know, we are using our mind a lot in it, but again, still using our mind, we have to get our mind out of it. But if we keep it simple, just taking what spirit comes and just put additional questions to spirit about the things that are coming, then we can explore our mediumship in a simple way, in a natural way.
Yes, very, very true. Jack, absolutely beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Oh, hold on. One more question just come through. Do you also bring forward messages via your spirit guides, from spirit guides, as well as loved ones?
If I do, yeah, I do sometimes. When I do spiritual assessments, I'll do it. I actually do use both the psychic, or the guides, and the loved ones. I've built a technique where, as I taught some of my students as well. So when I'm doing an full assessment, I will start briefly on psychic link, just to tell the recipient what they know about themselves. But while I'm doing that, I'm connected with the energy. I can connect with their guides as well within the energy, and then I can ask see which guide is the most prominent with them at the moment, and I'll ask that guide to come over to me, like it was a loved one, but it's a slightly different energy to work with, and then I can let this guide explain to the recipient why they're there, why are they close to them at this very moment, what is the focus for them at this moment, and so on, and at the same time I open the door for the spirit world, and then maybe a grandfather comes in and give his opinion on the same subject as the guide is talking about. What is interesting here is grandfather is coming with, or whoever is coming with their opinion of it, as a reflection of who they were. So sometimes you can sit there in a debate between the guide and the loved one, because they don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
But it will be a reflection of the loved one.
Brilliant.
Sometimes they agree, sometimes they don't, but you really have to trust that. But it's like when I have the loved ones, I feel them coming from my back right side. When I'm working with the guides, I like having them coming towards me from the front, so have them like here instead of here.
Okay. Brilliant. And another one just come through. Look, they've all woken up now.
Yeah.
From Bettina Christensen. And she's asking, how do you balance the energies if one is stronger than the other? So I assume from that, if you have somebody come through communicating who's a bit overbearing, how do you keep your ground?
First of all, if I understand the question right, so it's if it's somebody from spirit comes with a very strong energy, how I stand on my grounds. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, what I start talking about, having to have an understanding of our own energy. When I stand in my own energy, I'm standing solid. So no one from spirit can come and bring me out of balance. That way they can make me emotional, they can they have an affection on me. But because I'm very much aware of my own energy, I adjust how much of their energy I will let into my energy.
Yeah.
So I'm in control at any time.
That is one of the biggest lessons always with mediums. You are in control.
Definitely. Let spirit lead, but be in control.
Yeah, definitely. Jack, absolutely brilliant night. A lot of very positive comments. A lot of people agree they've learnt an awful lot tonight. I love that link with the spirit first and then go, I can't wait to try that.
Yeah.
I really can't. I am so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be great to experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Absolute pleasure, whether you're out there in Zoom or on our Facebook page. It's been a pleasure having you. Of notices going forward for the rest of the week. On Friday night, 7:30, we have Vanessa Anzalone coming to us from near Washington, DC, on a Spiritist evening talk, and that'll be on the lives of Joanna De Angelis. This is a series of books written through Spiritism, of one spirit's different incarnations throughout time. So we've got a whole series of talks about different facets, different incarnations of just this one spirit. So looking forward to that on Friday night. That'll be at 7:30 and live on the church Facebook page. Saturday night at 7 o'clock, live on the church Facebook page, we have Heidi Corridi. Apologies if I've just slaughtered your name. And she'll be giving a talk on spirit art and auric art. So that's this Saturday 13th at 7 p.m. on the church Facebook page, also on the church YouTube channel. Sunday morning, we have our divine service live online with the Zoom. And this Sunday, we have Deb Clark, who will be taking our service. Deb's a lovely lady, helped us out a lot during the first and second lockdowns here in the UK. And really is a delight. So we're looking forward to that Sunday morning, 10:45 a.m. Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock, we have a live service being streamed from within the church. Anybody local to the area, we would love to see you. But obviously with the travel restrictions in force at the moment, please, we do need to keep it local. So that's Sunday at 3, and that's with Dibna Russell. Meditations, Monday night, Saturday morning, 7 o'clock Monday night, 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Next week's Lyceum night will be taken by Ewan Irvin. Ewan took a divine service for us on Zoom a couple of weeks back, and he's joining us from Edinburgh. So we look forward to learning from Ewan. He hasn't given me the course topic yet, but it will be involving aspects of spiritualism. So that concludes the notices. Thank you very much for listening. This recording will be available later on today on the church YouTube channel, where all our recordings are being held as a sort of online virtual library now of all the works that we're doing. Jack, again, so indebted to you. You've been an absolute star and such a great friend to Paul Church over the last year since we sort of came into each other's orbits, teaching us a lot. Great friend. One day, one day we will actually meet.
Definitely.
Yes.
Hopefully this year.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm going to be a bit psychic here, and I reckon that if you, where you're sat now, if you look out to your right and look down a bit, you'll see the lovely Lola sat there.
Oh yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
See, that's psychic, everybody.
Oh yeah.
It's not. It's not. She sent me a photo. She said, "This is my view of Jack," and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Oh.
You're naughty, Lola. So again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Absolute pleasure. Look forward to the rest of the week. Like I always say, you know, whatever you're dealing with, if there's a struggle, look at it two ways. Can you cause a change on it? Yes or no? And if it's no, leave it alone. Why wrestle with it? If you can't change it, work with something you can change. All right, take care. Lots of love. Wish you all a peaceful evening. Good night and God bless.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
all.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Jack.
It's been a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Laurie.
Ta-da! That was great. Thank you, Jack.
Have you stopped the Facebook Live?
I am just doing that now. Thank you. Yes.